Adebayo.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes.
You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sports.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.
What's good?
Nothing.
Wednesday, man.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
It's been a while since we've been here on a Wednesday. But this is Off the Record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
Boy, Scotty B. Now, it's been a while because I got baseball season, you got football season, and it is just tough trying to get those schedules to merge.
It's challenging,
right,
to say the least.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's okay, right? We're not really kind of like locked in this bubble. Like, you got to record on Wednesday at 7 p.m. If you don't record at that time, you ain't gonna get the show done. Right? We kind of got a little bit more flexibility, which is cool, right? So and today works because now, granted, I was supposed to go to the draft, but things change for whatever reason. It doesn't matter. But I feel like it's perfect because now that the draft is Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and we're here on Wednesday, when we've been recording probably on a Tuesday, mainly Tuesday, and we've done a Friday. But I think now it's perfect because not only is draft tomorrow, we're like 10 episodes from 300. Like, it's episode 290. And how we gotta get to 300, we're gonna get to 300. Not saying that we're taking weeks off because we're trying to strategically record 300, but
well, I think most people, their football season starts tomorrow. As exciting as March Madness was, as exciting as just basketball has been lately, it's not football. And same way, the baseball season. I think people are excited about the start of baseball, but it's tough to really get super excited about it because there's so many games. And you feel like basically like they have to play a good 20 to 30 games before you even say, oh, well, this team looks pretty good or this team is going to be trash. So you were at the Nationals game yesterday against LA. How was that?
Man, all right. So again, it was Xavier's birthday. It was my son's birthday. And so we was going. It just so happened that they were playing the Dodgers. So we've gone to a Nats game before. And it's for whatever reason, I think we know the reason. The Dodgers bring out a crowd. So it also, and I don't think I told you this, I'm assuming it was like bring your dog to the park day because it was a bunch of dogs there. And I was like, I'm assuming that they had to be.
Let's stop there though, because I hopefully I don't offend people or anything like that. Do you think it's a bit much to bring your dog to a sporting event?
Absolutely.
I do too.
Yeah, and again, I know people love their dogs, but everybody isn't a dog person. Yeah, I mean, and those people have to get over it. It is what it is. It didn't bother me. It's not like it bothered me. It was just I wasn't expecting to see that many dogs, right? And ironically, until like later on in the game, you didn't really hear any dogs barking. Like when I went back over there, when we walked past at the beginning of the game, dogs was chilling. They was happy. I think they was just like some people at a baseball. I'm ready to go. Right. They were just ready to go. But we get to the game. One of the things I'll say is that I know myself when I was a kid going, I ain't go to that many games when I was a kid, but even growing up and, college years, after college, you go to a game and I always wonder, man, how could I get my name up on the, I see people. So it just so happens that earlier this year, I went to the Nats Pirates game for a function. And I just happened to talk to somebody. And I said, well, I never got my name up there. I think it'd be super cool if Xavier got his name up there. So I talked to the guy and I reached out. He reached out to me and he said we can make it happen. I said, well, damn. We'll be here for the Dodgers Nats game. And now I'm thinking to myself, I get to see Ohtani play. I'm like, not that I was like super fanned out. We had good seats right behind home plate. And I'm like, man, it'd be great to see a home run. Mookie Betts, Ohtani, Freddie Freeland. One of them got to hit a home run tonight. So game goes by, and then I'm like, man, it's getting towards, and they back to back. So at the bottom of the eighth, Mookie Betts got the last out. So I'm not thinking nothing of it, between innings, and then they got it back. I'm like, man, I think it's, it's probably time to go. So we went to at the bottom of the eighth, not even remembering that Mookie Betts got the last bat and Ohtani's coming up the bat one more time. I'm like, this game's over. Ain't, whatever. We literally got out of our seats. We took some pictures before we walked. As soon as we walked through the door of the PNC club, all I heard was smack and the crowd going wild. Guess who just hit a home run? Ohtani. The only home run in the game. I missed it. And I said, you know what? That's what I get. But I felt like the game was over. And I ain't gonna lie. It's an hour to get home.
Yeah, absolutely.
I was ready to get home.
That's the interesting thing about going to Nat Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I always, by the 6th or 7th, I'm normally making my way out of there so I can get home. So no, I'm with you on that.
So I mean, it was cool though, because yesterday there were so many fouls hit, right? And all my son kept on saying is, I want a ball. And I'm telling them, like, hey, they fouls, you got to get them. So it was one of the closest that we got to even being in the vicinity was one that was hit probably 6 or 7 rows behind us. Excuse me, to the right. He was just looking like, well, I guess I ain't getting baseball today. So as we're leaving, this older gentleman, he comes to us and he says, you want us to you want me to take y'all picture? I'm like, cool. We were behind, it was a display behind us. So we take the pictures and I tell him that it's Xavier's birthday, right? And he says, I just hold on one second. And I'm thinking like, he's probably going to go get him another card because Xavier got like 2 or 3 trading cards. But he got a ton of stuff yesterday. So the guy comes back probably about 5, 6, 7 minutes later. He hands Xavier a game ball, one of the game balls, and I'm like, you.
So he caught the foul ball?
No. This guy worked. He worked. He was like one of the guest services type guys.
Oh wow.
Like, he probably like 70, 80 years old.
Hey man, that's a heck of an experience, right there, man.
So I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I never seen. So he was excited because he was like, I got a ball, and it's a real ball. He kept saying, it's a real ball, right? And I'm like, yeah, it's a real ball. And he was excited. He was excited. And he had the kung fu grip on that ball. He would not let it go. So, but he had a great time. That was probably one of my best experiences at a baseball game.
Oh yeah, it sounds like you guys.
So it was a cool experience. And it was good weather,
right.
The weather's been up and down, but it was good weather. So that was dope. So I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to see Ohtani hit a home run in person, though, man.
Nah, but you was there. I
heard it.
Yeah,
I heard it.
You was in the house.
Yeah, man, 450 feet, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah, so but nonetheless, that was what happened in regards to last night at the Nats game. So let's start with the draft. I know the draft is tomorrow.
Let's start with basketball.
You want to start with basketball?
Yeah, I think
Draft
we're going to
gonna
talk.
take a
Yeah,
little
we're going to talk a lot about the draft.
Okay.
All right. So let's get right into it. Are the Suns done?
Oh yeah. Hell yeah. I think, and this may sound crazy. Y'all don't kill me for saying this. I think the Lakers have a better chance at advancing than the Suns. I think that Anthony Edwards and the Timberwolves are just too good for Phoenix.
So look, I want to tell you, I'm gonna be honest.
Oh, boy.
Kevin Durant looked extremely frustrated.
Oh, absolutely.
Yesterday.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I want to tell you, the Suns, so they've been like pretty bad on defense all year. I don't know what statistical rating they're at, but they haven't been one of the stronger defensive teams. I think most people agree that they were built for firepower. They're built to outscore you. A lot of their weaknesses aren't weaknesses like their bench, and their weaknesses their depth and their defense. So Minnesota is playing out of their mind. Anthony Edwards, Ant-Man, whatever you want to call him, is
the man.
The man, the next Jordan S individual.
Whoa. Yeah,
he's getting that mystique, man, and I just don't see the Suns capable of stopping him and the Timberwolves.
Are you saying sweep? Oh boy,
I'm saying 4-1. Sweeps are bad for the NBA, and
4-1 ain't good either.
now 4-1's not good, but I know the NBA doesn't like sweeps, and I know they're going to do everything in their power to make sure that they at least get one game. But I tell you, it's not looking good. And I mean, Frank Vogel, I've got a ton of respect as a coach for him. I know he's a former champion, but yeah, it's not looking good out there.
Well, I don't think he's going to get fired or anything. They don't have any. They're top heavy, and it's so clear that they're not going to really get a lot of production out their bench. So they're ultimately going to need KD, Booker, and Bill to score anywhere between 80 and 100. And I know that sounds like crazy, but I mean, all three of them are going to have to get 30. Like, you can't have an off night. You can't score 58 and think that your bench is going to – their bench ain't got it. So in order for them to – I mean, and granted, they did sweep Minnesota, but in the regular season. But honestly, that don't really mean nothing, because it could have been one of the nights where they were resting Gobert, or one of the nights where Anthony – I don't think they rest Anthony Edwards. I don't think he –
No.
But it could have been. I don't think he missed the Phoenix game.
Cat Williams was. He was. I mean, Cat Towns. I always call him Cat Williams, but he was hurt most of the end of the season. So I want to say probably the last 2 months of the season he wasn't playing. So one of them could have been there.
Yeah. So again, the regular season. Listen. The regular season matters, right? It does matter to an extent, but I don't care that a team swept a team in the right. I don't care about that. So, but what I do care about is how you look to end the season. And I wasn't really impressed with Phoenix to end the season. They looked shaky against everybody, you know.
So I heard something that was interesting, and they said that Phoenix this year blew the most fourth quarter leads. And you saw it throughout the year. I think we kind of spoke on this about the epic collapse that they were having throughout the season, where it felt like there was a lot of teams that they should have beat that they crumbled to. Sometimes they showed up to play. So I think it's going to be interesting how everything plays out with Phoenix moving forward. Now, it's 2-0. That's not impossible to come
right,
back.
They won
and
2 home games.
yeah. So
and they're still young.
yeah, they can make it a series. You don't think so? I don't think so either. But
It's a wrap.
But yeah, I just have to go on the record to say that
I feel like so. You look at Phoenix and I think that Minnesota is just too good for Phoenix. It is what it is. Now when you get to like Denver, LA, I still feel like I watched game 2, right? And I know we're gonna talk about somebody officiating because I don't know what marginal contact is. Either it's contact or it isn't. But whatever. That's another subject for another day. I feel like when I watch LA play Denver, it's almost like I don't want to say Denver's toying with them, right? Because
they're absolutely toying with them. No, I think that's look. Last night,
2 nights ago,
or 2 nights ago, I'm sorry. I felt bad for the Lakers.
I did too.
I
did too. I was like, they got to get a swing. They got, and the first thing I tweeted when Jamal Murray hit that shot, I said they never gonna beat the Nuggets.
No,
they never. And to think that they got to win 4 out of 5. So here's the thing. I'm not gonna say it's impossible, mainly because they have LeBron and they have AD. Now, people can say what they want about AD, and I'm gonna give the Lakers I don't want to say a script, or I don't want to say I'm gonna tell them what they need to do, or how, and I think that LeBron needs to do what he did the last game, which is coast through the first 3 quarters. And, whether it's subbing out, you could be there, you could coast. LeBron needs to have anywhere between 6 to 12 points. He can have as many assists as he wants, get everybody else involved in the game, right? 4th quarter, if the Lakers as a team are taking – how many shots you think in a quarter a team would take? 25?
Yeah, something like
Let's say they take 25 shots. He needs to take 22 of them. And I'm serious. He needs to take over and maybe just as serious. In the 4th quarter, we need to see 2012 LeBron. I know that was 12 years ago. I understand that. But this LeBron 12 years ago probably would have been MVP anyway. You know what I'm saying? So, but we need him to be just the 4th quarter now. We need him to be 2012 LeBron. And I think that what happens then is you ain't got to worry about D'Lo taking a shot or making, or Austin Reeves making a 3 or some sort of basket. You ain't got to worry about AD. Let AD, Reeves, Hachimura, even Spencer Dinwiddie, whoever. I don't care. They need to be asserting themselves those first 3 quarters.
So I'm gonna ask a dumb question. Okay. And it's for everybody out there. When I watch the Lakers play, I don't know if they even believe that they can beat Denver. I mean, now I know like LeBron, of course, with all his achievements, and you can never count out LeBron in anything. I don't know if the whole team is saying like we have a legitimate shot at this. Like, I don't know if they've looked at Denver and say, you know what, we could beat this team, and really necessarily bought in. I'll tell you something too that was kind of telling. So Joker, right? Everybody knows outstanding facilitator. You know that he could beat you one-on-one. 2 nights ago, they chose toward the end of that game to let Joker go at AD. And I believe personally that similar to LeBron, sometimes it's better to let them score because they could be more powerful as facilitators. And I don't know. I don't see them having any answers, man. I do.
I think the Lakers win the next 2 games. I think the Lakers.
So.
I think the Lakers win the next 2 games at home. And then now you got a best of 3 series, and you know you see what happens. I mean, they had a 20-point lead on the road, right? So you expect that home team to make, especially a home team, to make a run. You just expect it. It is what it is. I feel like LA went cold. The whole team went cold at one point in was that the 3rd quarter or the 4th quarter?
They definitely didn't play their best ball. They didn't play their they didn't play
So
they didn't play their best game.
and I understand. Like, I'm rooting for the Lakers. You know, I'm rooting for the Lakers.
Do you have Denver fatigue?
No, because I like them. I like them. I think that they're just a team that's, you know, they can beat you anyway. If you want to have a shootout, they can have a shootout. If you want to play bully ball, they can play bully ball. If you want it to be a defensive struggle, they could, you know, I mean, because KCP, Aaron Gordon, who else is what's the is it Brown, the other Brown kid, who was actually white, but whatever. You know, you got Porter. They are loaded, you know, and so I think that most people think Denver is the best team in the league. I'm not going to argue with you if you have Denver as the best team in the league, but I will say that I've seen some chinks in their armor, but it always seems like they always have a new suit every time. So I think with Denver, again, they have different ways to beat you. I'm not saying that LA is going to win this series. Would I like for LA to win this series? Yeah. Do I think they're going to win this series? No. Do I think they're going to get swept again? No. I do feel like they're losing 6 or 7. You know, I don't think that this series is over. And I feel like even though they lost that 20-point game, some people in the Lakers camp feel like the officiating was a little shaky, right? As we saw what LeBron said and what AD said. I tend to agree to an extent, but if AD or LeBron make one extra basket in the 4th, they win the game, you know? So it is what it is. Ironically, the game that was on before that was Knicks Philly game 2, and I felt that was an even worse officiated game. Not saying that the Knicks should have lost. Well, the Knicks should have lost. The Knicks should have lost, but they didn't. And I'm gonna ask you this. Take your Knicks fandom off. Take your Knicks cap off. Are there things that you saw in that game that had you concerned about this series?
Yes.
Okay.
No, so what's been my concern from day one is going into that series without Julius Randle. I know he's been out and has been decided. But right now, I feel like we have too much on Jalen Brunson's shoulders.
He hasn't been playing well this series.
Right. But it's all dependent on him. And I think that's why he hasn't been playing well, because the focal points have been on him. Now, I think other guys have stepped up, and I think we play a gritty brand of basketball. I mean, we get after our opponents and we hustle. You know, we take advantage of what we can take advantage of, and it works in our favor. Now, is Philly going anywhere? Absolutely not.
What? All right, go ahead.
No, we're up 2-0, but I think they're going to make it a series.
Who?
Philly.
Do you think they could win the series?
No. I think we're going to win the series, but I think that they're not.
What?
Huh?
Win it in what?
6.
I tend to disagree, and not because I picked Philly to go to the Eastern Conference Finals, but I feel I feel like, well, first of all, before we get to what I feel, you know what the NBA needs to do?
What's that?
They need to get rid of that 2-minute report bullcrap. Because all it does is pisses the fans off, pisses the players off, pisses the coaching staff. It don't make no one feel good. You know, even the team who got away with it, they don't feel good. But now you make them feel like, oh well, we already got it because blah blah blah. You know, and I think that they should do away with it because it's gonna get somebody in the NBA league off his shot because somebody's gonna have a parlay. and they're gonna release that 2-minute report, and it's gonna say, well, he would have been fouled, and had they called a foul, then Vincenzo wouldn't have hit that 3, such and such would have covered the spread or whatever. I don't know.
Right.
And so all jokes aside, I think that they need to do away with it because it doesn't help. They can keep it internally for internal records, but it doesn't help anything.
It doesn't help anything.
It's pointless.
And sometimes too much information is
exactly
it's bad.
So I'll say this. In this series, I feel like the Sixers aren't playing bad basketball, right? I feel like you can tell that Joel Embiid is hurt because if he wasn't hurt, I think he would be utterly unstoppable in this series. But you can tell that he's hobbled. If Tyrese Maxey starts to go off and he's gonna have to become a superstar in front of our own eyes in order for them to win. And I do feel like that could happen. I think Tyrese Maxey is going to be one of the best players in the league. The problem is, after them two is like, okay, you know, Kyle Lowry, who you would expect, he's been in the league, you know, for years. You would expect him not to make some of the mistakes he's been making.
Yeah,
you know?
and Tobias Harris is being Tobias Harris.
Yes. So with that being said, do they have a shot? Yes, but it's gonna be tough. It is what it is. I just don't want to say the Knicks gonna win. I just can't fix my face.
You got our colors on. You got New York.
Mets ain't the Knicks. Okay.
Okay.
And they just happen to have Virginia State colors. So
okay.
You know, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. But nah, I mean, the Knicks do have a shot to win this series and win the next series. But right now I'm gonna stick with Boston and Boston and Philly in the Eastern Conference Finals.
Okay. So let's go there, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you got the other two series. Well, it should be 3 series. But what do you think about this Milwaukee Indiana series?
I want Milwaukee to win, right? I like the Indiana team. Went to the game at the in-season tournament. Indiana is one team that is not scared of Milwaukee, whether they had Giannis or not. And I feel like they feel like they can win. Like how you said with the Lakers, don't feel like they could beat Denver.
Right.
Oh, the Pacers feel like they could beat the Bucks.
Yeah, you see the energy.
Yeah, they like. Now I tell you what, that game 1 with Dame. Whew, I mean, the Pacers ain't stand a chance.
Right.
We have a series now because the road team won a road game. But I'm gonna stay with Milwaukee winning that series. And I'm probably not the most confident person saying that, but in Indiana, they could definitely win that series and win it in 5 because the problems that Milwaukee has is what Indiana does. So unless Dame is going to be hot all these games, because I highly doubt that we're going to see Giannis in this series.
No, I think we'll see Giannis if they make it to the next series.
Right.
But they had no answer for Siakam. I mean, and that trade looks like it's going to pan off.
Really good
more.
trade.
Yeah, really good trade. But I believe he dropped 37 on them. And I mean, it's so I have Milwaukee winning this series.
Mm-hmm. I have the series going 7, by the way.
Oh, this was absolutely going. this one's going 7. I'll tell you the other series that I believe is going 7 too. I think the Clippers and Dallas is going 7.
And right now it was what 2-0, right?
No, it's 1-1.
1-1. Yeah. 1-1. That's a good one, man. That might be the best series.
It might be the best series.
I think the Lakers Denver is probably going to be the most watched series. But I feel like Clippers Mavs is going to be
you
best
just
series.
Got all the star power on there, right? And you look at for the first time with the Clippers, you're seeing all their stars healthy. You see a healthy
allegedly.
Allegedly. But for the most part, they're all playing. And then you got, Dallas, who I think personally assembled their team this year to contend with Denver.
Mm-hmm.
Will it all be for nothing? Because you look at the Clippers, they're at put up or shut up time, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've been like that for a while, but they can't afford a first round exit. And then you look at Dallas, everything that they invested through the regular season, getting all these extra players, and you finally got Kyrie and Luka. They're playing together. You can't afford to go out the first season. I mean, the first round either. So,
I mean, Mark Cuban's your guy.
Mark Cuban's my guy. He's my guy.
So you don't want to see a guy go out in the first round. I think this has the potential to be one of those series that is talked about for a really long time, to where it's gonna make or break a lot of these guys. And it's like Kawhi. Can Kawhi stay healthy the entire series, or Paul George? What is James Harden gonna do? Can Luka lead the Mavs to? Because I mean, I feel like if they win this round, because what are they? What's seed is the?
I believe one is the third and one is the sixth,
right? Yeah. So
no, I'm wrong. That's Minnesota and Phoenix.
So it's 4-5. Yeah, it's 4-5. So it's 4-5. Yeah. So I think the winner of this round could get to the Western Conference Finals against Denver.
Okay.
And
so you got the 1-8 matchup, not to stop you. And a lot of people are talking that they think the Pelicans can beat OKC. Do you share that sentiment? And they don't have Zion.
They still could beat them, but I think OKC wins this round.
I think OKC.
Whoever wins this round is going to lose to the Mavs or the Clippers anyway. I tell you what though, what we shaping up to see in round 2 with Minnesota and Denver. Oof.
Yeah, that's going to be
that's going to be a good one.
Be interesting
that's going to be a good one.
You've got 2 legitimate bigs that, I mean, they can contend with the Joker. Now, will they stop him? No, but I definitely think that they've got the personnel to throw at him defensively, most definitely. That would be a good series if we were able to see that.
Denver, Minnesota. I don't want nobody talking to me during that series. During those games, nah. I just want Oh, you're gonna see some dogs. You gonna see.
Oh,
Hey, I'm
absolutely.
sorry, Lakers. After further review, no, I want to see Minnesota, Denver.
But you know what? To be honest, I think that would make the better series.
Absolutely.
I think what we're watching with the Lakers is what we're watching with the Suns and we're watching with the Lakers, and we saw it with Golden State. Is it's a change in the guard, and we've been talking. That's been the rolling theme of the show all year, to where it's some new sheriffs in towns, and you know, some of those old dogs. Yeah, hey, they can still eat a little bit, but
Yeah,
the big dogs is here, man.
I think Golden State might have got the last championship for the old heads.
Yeah.
I think they got the last championship for all these old heads. I'm sorry. Listen, LeBron, I get it. You want to win that extra championship, and if LeBron finds a way to win a championship, it's gonna be exciting. It's not like it's gonna be lack any sort of excitement, because what he will have to do is, like I said earlier, be 2012 LeBron. And if we see 2012 LeBron, I'm here for it. But we got 2024 and Edwards. And I know people talk about home. I'm not Chet, but Wemby. I know people talk about the Joker. I know they say stuff about Jason Tatum and Shea and Luka. I love them all. I think Luka's probably one of the best. Anthony Edwards is the best player in the league.
Yeah,
he's the best player in the league.
Anthony Edwards at 22. If he's not the best player now, by the time he's 24, 25, when he gets an opportunity to get to his prime, because this is the scary thing about Anthony Edwards. He ain't even close to his prime.
He ain't even right. He's the best player in the league. I know Shea gonna give you 30. SGA, he gonna give you 30. Luka, triple double. Joker, triple. They are who they are. I'm not saying that they're not gonna get any better. I'm not saying Jason Tatum's not gonna get any better. But this Anthony Edwards kid,
special. He is special.
Man, listen. I tell you what. Hey, listen. That if you want to talk Jordan-esque, that's who you need to be talking about. That.
I said it.
Yeah. All right. I'm just. Let's go to one of the week. Let's go to one.
So we ain't even gotta play the music.
I want to play the music. I ain't heard the music in so long.
No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner. No, you're a winner.
I'm sorry, Scott. It ain't even music. It's talking. And we gotta get some drums or something to that joint too. You know what I mean? So Danielle, I know you out there somewhere. We need some drums, B. All right, my bad.
So my winner of the week, and I was surprised when I heard this, and we continue to hear it, is some of the fans of the Milwaukee Bucks. That incident with Halliburton's brother was just unacceptable. And I think we saw this a little bit when me and you were at the Notre Dame game last year.
Yep.
The fans have to stop harassing people's families. They're humans just like we are. And it's just becoming ridiculous that fans will purposely go after family members of players. And I mean, it's just, we have to figure out where the line is drawn as fans. So when I heard that story, I was just like, man, what is the NBA doing to not only protect the players, but I do think that it should be something to where they're protecting their family members as well, because they don't deserve to be subjected to that.
I agree.
And you want your family to come and support you and be able to watch you. But when you start to look at the safety and just, the mental component of having to deal with racism in the stadium, it's just absurd.
Yeah, I agree. So what's going to end up happening, I feel like one of these fans that cross the line is they're going to say something to the wrong person, right? They're going They're gonna use a racial slur against the wrong person. And I'm not telling anybody to be violent with anyone, but they're gonna say something to a family member that ain't got all they the steps don't go all the way to the top. I'll say it like that.
Or nothing to lose.
Or nothing to lose, right? And it's gonna be, get out of our stadium, you stupid mother, blah 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 blah. And they're gonna hear someone of another race use a racial slur, and they may dog walk them through the stands, down to the court, back up the stands, and then people are gonna be looking at that player like, yo, what's up with your family? Well, what's up with your fans? You know what I'm saying? And I'm hoping that doesn't happen, but I'm also hoping that we can get to a time where we could go to a game, like, because trash talk is trash talk. That's a whole nother story. You know, you could talk trash about the team, about even my relative, but when you start, becoming racial, and
whole nother ball game.
It's a whole nother ball game.
Whole nother ball game.
So I mean, you're gonna find somebody, because I mean, we all have them. We all have somebody in our family that's like, please don't get him upset, because we don't want to deal with this right now. They're over the top. You know what I'm saying? And it is what it is. At that point, I know they say sticks and stones, whatever, but sometimes you just gotta let people know. You try me, and it is what it is. So hopefully it doesn't get to that. Hopefully people, do the right thing and quit with the being racially insensitive and stop offending people. I mean, because it's just dumb. I would hate for you to walk out of an arena with a bloody eye,
Right.
or something worse. You know what I'm saying? So we got to do better.
So let me ask you this. This story has picked up a lot of traction today, and we probably typically would have let off with this story. Reggie Bush gets his Heisman back.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, shout out to him. I'm glad that he got his Heisman. For me, I felt like he never got his Heisman taken away. Like, I know they took his trophy.
Oh, no, it was gone.
Yeah, I know they took his trophy, but in my eyes, he always was a Heisman.
Right, and a lot of people, and I get that. Like, I mean, you can't take away what we saw. I mean, we literally saw him be one of the best college football players ever, and I think it's good that they righted it wrong. Now we're gonna see some other Heisman guys go back. I don't know if they could right the Cam Newton wrong, but I think that they got it right giving Reggie Bush his Heisman. I mean, granted, he's about to go to the NCAA Hall of Fame, College Football Hall of Fame. It's good that it happened the day before the draft. But I just, the NCAA are just big hypocrites, right? And I know that, because what this right now, what you do when you give him back his Heisman, you say we were wrong, right? But you don't go out and say, what they say is, the landscape of college football has changed, which it has. Which it has. But I mean, at that time when Reggie Bush got his Heisman taken away, it was crazy the way they were exploiting the players. The coaches could move around and do whatever. The school can, do whatever, but the player couldn't do anything. And they were just being exploited. It was like, you run the ball, you pass the ball, you hit this play, blah, blah, blah. And if I decide to leave, I can leave. So
what stuck out to me, and it may stick out to a lot of people when they look at this story, is, okay, so you righted the wrong with Reggie Bush. I think that was a tremendous thing. But there's multiple things that you could write now. And the one that comes to mind a little bit more is Michigan. right? Do you give them back their Final Four stuff? And when you start to really go back to, I'll give you another one. And even though I despise Ohio State, Terrell Pryor and Jim Tressel and those guys got a rough bargain. I mean, if you really go back and you think about it, they traded their memorabilia that they were given for tattoos. And I mean, Terrell Pryor, I believe he was suspended the rest of that year.
Yeah.
I don't know if his scholarship was taken, but he had to go to a supplemental draft. It cost Jim Tressel his job. And you look at that, and I mean, it's other instances. And I'm sure if you sit here and you think long and hard, I mean, it's a lot of wrongs that.
Absolutely. No, I agree. I agree. And I mean, this is just happened to be the most popular one.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But no, I definitely agree. They need to, right? So some of them is not really much that they can do, right? Because they were screwed up people back then. And like Terrell Pryor is not like, I mean, there's nothing really that Terrell Pryor can do. You know what I'm saying? Aside from accept an apology. You know, he didn't lose an award. He lost money because of the draft. So if he was to sue the NCAA, I would let them issue a pie. We were wrong. You cost me X, Y, and Z because this affected my draft stock. I was one of the best college players in the country, and that affected me. So I'm suing you guys now, and I don't think he would be wrong.
No,
I don't think he would be wrong. So maybe that will happen. I don't know.
It's a lot of instances, and that's the first thing that I thought about is, okay, great. Reggie Bush, he's got his Heisman back. But there's a lot of things to where another one that sticks out, and a lot of people will probably just disagree with me on this, is you start to think about Pete Rose, right?
Yeah, no way. No.
So
No.
Pete Rose will never get an apology.
As he shouldn't.
Right. But how long have we been denying Pete Rose entry into the Hall of Fame? It's been a long.
I get that, but
it's been about 40 years.
He also bet on the sport that he was playing, and if I'm not mistaken, he bet on his team. Yes, he bet on his team to win, but it goes against everything.
But you know what? Does that sound as bad now?
Yes, because you're dealing with the integrity of the game. It's you can't do. So, all right, so I'll say this. Every situation is different, right? You can say, who's to say that he never placed a bet against his team? We don't know. He may have placed one or two, and he just never got caught. Because I'm gonna tell you like this. You know when our ace ain't pitching, we got X, Y, and Z hurt. I'm not playing. I'm betting for us to win. You know, you see what I'm saying? So at that point, even if you bet on your team winning, the integrity is gone.
Okay,
the integrity is gone.
So his integrity has always been a question, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I go to like, and I want to bring Barry Bonds into this conversation too. You know, I'm Barry Bonds.
I am as well.
Yeah, just favorite baseball player of all time.
Mm-hmm.
They still produce on the field. So Pete Rose, yeah, maybe he did better as a player. We don't know. It's not proven, right?
Mm-hmm.
We could prove that he bet on his team as a manager, but it doesn't negate that he was a hell of a baseball player and still should be considered into the Hall of Fame. And that's the problem that I've always had with it is we've made this about his character and his integrity and not his production.
So let me ask you this. Has he been reinstated by Major League Baseball?
I believe so. Yes.
I thought he was. So if he's been reinstated by Major League Baseball, he should be eligible to be. I think he is eligible to be.
Yeah, he's just not.
They're not going to vote for him. Yeah,
Right.
and that at this point, I think that moment has passed. I mean, Barry Bonds is a whole different situation. I don't compare the two, right? Because Barry Bonds, before the alleged PEDs, he was a Hall of Famer already. So all right, if you don't want to include the San Francisco years, Barry Bonds, the Pittsburgh Pirate player, is a Hall of Famer, right? Now, me personally, you're telling me this guy was using whatever he was using. I don't think he's ever failed a drug test. Whether he failed it or not doesn't even matter, because whatever, we know how that rocks. There are pitchers that have been suspended for PED use. You know what I'm saying? It's not like it was just the hitters that, and then not to mention, you can say what you want. I don't care what you say. Barry Bonds, Sammy Sosa, Mark McGwire saved baseball. If those three guys hadn't done what they did in that little bit from 98 to whenever Barry Bonds retired, who knows what baseball would be like today? It wouldn't be that. Yeah, because it would have been like, forgive me, it would have been like the WNBA. It would have been like a baseball version of the WNBA. Although the WNBA is increasing, right. It's increasing.
No, I get what you're saying.
I'm saying that the attendance numbers would have been terrible. Like, because at that time they were coming off of a strike, and Major League Baseball knew exactly what they were doing. It's not like
they turned the
blind. They knew exactly what was going on, and they said, "Yo, we just coming off this strike, and we are struggling." TV viewership was down, attendance was down, and then all of a sudden, home runs started being hit. I think it was Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire first, and then
Barry Bonds might have took it to the
whether he got jealous or not, it is what it is. He was like, "Yo, whatever," and yeah, he was like, yeah, but
it wasn't illegal at the time. It was frowned upon,
right?
And I mean. So, like I said, you start looking back at these situations, and when I heard about Reggie Bush and just what he took, he said it was like a couple $1,000, and it might have been a car somewhere in there, and it's like in comparison to what has went on. I believe I was talking to somebody earlier, and we were talking about the documentary with Eric Dickerson.
Oh gosh, with SMU.
Yeah, I mean, and he told those guys, like, look, man, I forgot what car it was. He was like, it was a little gold, might have been a Camaro or a Trans Am or something like that. He was like, yeah, go ahead and get me one of those. Now I'll consider your school. And they had one parked in his driveway. And I'm quite sure that it is countless stories on athletes taking money,
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. Like, again, these players are getting extorted. Like, let me not say not now, but before there's all sorts of things happening with the NCAA. So, luckily for Reggie Bush, it didn't really hurt his draft stock. I think he went 5. He was still a first rounder. I still think he had a pretty good career, but it affected some other people that weren't as good as Reggie Bush, but it is what it is. So the draft. I feel like I'm going to start here real quick, right? So we know, I think we can both agree that Caleb Williams is going number 1, and I almost think we could agree that Jaden Daniels is going number 2. You seemed a little shaky on that one.
Well, I heard some reports that the Commanders did some commander type stuff.
So I'm glad you brought that up, because that's what I wanted to bring up, because I think I differ when I say that I like what they did.
I can see both sides, but why do you like what they did?
All right, so let's tell people what they did, right? So they invited they invited Jaden Daniels. It was Daniels, JJ McCarthy, Drake May, and it's either Michael Penix or Bo Nix. I can't remember who the fourth quarterback was. It was one of those two guys, or maybe even both of them. No, they brought four. So anyway, he was under the assumption that it was just going to be him, but they brought everybody in together, right? So they had all the quarterbacks in together, and I mean, ultimately, it turned into a field trip. And they had a day out at Top Golf. They went to Top Golf, and they had, they just had the guys there. I think they pulled them each of them to the side at certain times and things like that. And I felt like I didn't have a problem with it, right? And I think what they were attempting to do, and this is my personal view on what I feel like they attempted to do. What they were attempting to do is see guys interact with each other in a non-football environment, to see ultimately make it look like a team outing or a function, because one of these guys are going to be the franchise, the cornerstone to the team for at least at the bare minimum 5 years, right? So you will hope for at least 10, right, or 15. But so ultimately, what they're trying to see is when you got guys that possibly play the same position, you kind of jockeying for position, you kind of see how they got a chance to be away from football and let their hair down, to say the least, and you get to kind of see how they react with other people around, right? With just their peers. See how, yes, we have this one pick, and you guys, we don't know who we're picking, and you get to see how they interact. You get to see the competitiveness, because you're at Top Golf. And not trying to be funny, you could be the sorriest golfer in the history of the sport, but when you get to Top Golf, it gets competitive. It gets competitive, and you kind of want to see, how competitive are they? Are they overly competitive to where they're willing to cheat? Are they overly competitive to where they're willing to, whatever? Are they still rooting on the person that they're competing against? Yes, is at Top Golf, and yes, it could be looked at as minuscule, but those are some of the little things that you see in a locker room that you be like, this ain't gonna work. This dude, his personality isn't gonna vibe with the team that we have. We heard at the combine that JJ McCarthy, everybody gravitated towards JJ McCarthy playing different positions. So, he had a leg up there because he's a good guy. So I personally think it was a smart thing to do, and I feel like it ultimately helped them make their decision.
So the concept is smart, right? But I want to go the other direction.
Okay.
I like what the Bears did, because the Bears did something similar to where they had Caleb Williams, but then they had some of the older veterans. And they had a similar setting to where they went to dinner.
Mm-hmm.
I think you could have duplicated that with maybe the O-line and some receivers and some keystone people that you have in your organization.
Now, I don't know if they had any of the Commanders players there,
right?
I don't know if that
I don't know for sure, but I think you can still get what you're looking for by bringing those guys in individually and doing that. I think it gave off the impression that they don't know who they're going to select, and if I'm a player, maybe that motivates me a little bit. Like, okay, these guys aren't necessarily sure about me. Is this really the landing spot that I want to be in? So we don't know if he is going there. I think that's the pick. Yeah.
I saw some earlier today.
Well, I saw he cleaned up his reaction.
Yeah. I mean, because you look stupid, because you look like a baby, complaining about, oh, I thought I was going to be there, but he may not have been complaining. I'm not gonna place judgment because I'm not sure, but it looked like there was some complaints coming that they weren't happy that he had to be around everybody. Who cares? And here's the thing: they at that time they didn't know who they were going to draft, right? Maybe they did, but they wasn't sure. Because listen, I mean, I think Drake May is still. If they were to select Drake May, I think you still, whatever. But I feel like he had to clean it up, right? Because if let's just say they don't select him, right? Now you may slide now because people think that you have a bad attitude because you can't deal with adversity well because they brought in three other quarterbacks.
So it's a possibility he may slide, right?
He's not going to slide.
I'll tell you why, right? And I don't think he's going to slide either.
Mm-hmm.
But I think this is one of the most intriguing, interesting drafts that we've had in a long time because you've got a quarterback draft.
Mm-hmm.
And you got a lot of teams that need quarterbacks, but then you got some superstars in there like the Marvin Harrisons and a couple other guys that are pretty good. So is this going to be interesting to see what direction teams are go? The one thing I'll say about the draft that I'm interested the most in tomorrow is to see where my guy, J.J. McCarthy, is going to land.
Yeah, he'll be number 5.
I think he's going to be high too. I think that he's going to be a lot higher than people.
Yeah, I mean, J.J. McCarthy is going to be a ball. He's going to be a damn good pro. I just want to let everybody know he's not going to the Chargers. So if you're hoping that he's going to the Chargers,
he's not going.
It will cost the Chargers more to trade Herbert than what it costs the Broncos with Russ. So we know that's not happening. But I'm where I'm interested. I don't even want to talk about the Cowboys. I'm actually interested to see where Michael Penix goes, see if he gets drafted in round 1. Michael Penix and Bo Nix. I think that I want to see where they land if they're still going to be round 1 picks. But Michael Penix, without me seeing where he gets drafted, he's my sleeper as Rookie of the Year. I think, of course, it depends on where he goes. But that's as of right now, that's my sleeper to get Rookie of the Year.
Okay. My sleeper to get Rookie of the Year. I'm going to go with the overall number 1 pick. I think Caleb Williams. And it's not really even a sleeper. I know we did this last year, and I talked about C.J. Stroud.
Mm-hmm.
So you're talking about Michael Penix. I'm talking about Caleb Williams. I don't think I've took too much of a risk. I think the Bears have a golden opportunity to really get this right and change their franchise.
Yeah.
But it starts with them and the right coaching because that's something that they haven't been successful at. They've brought in the talent, but can they coach this guy up and get him where he needs to be? I think they personally can.
I do too.
I think he's going to be special.
I do too. I think all the stuff that we hear on Caleb Williams is just noise that you got to do before the draft. I mean, honestly, you never hear anybody say anything bad about his game. All you hear him talk about, he's a diva, he's a mama's boy. What man, boy, or whoever is not a mama's boy? I don't know one. I don't know one.
You know, and the more I wouldn't even say interaction, right? But like the more interviews, the more we get to know the athletes. Like I feel like in this day and age, like you got a lot of athletes that have podcasts that do a lot more interviews, and you have a lot more access to them, or you get to see what they do away from the field or what they do away from their sport. And it's some guys, man, they're just into some. I mean, they're into all sorts of different things that you wouldn't typically expect the stereotypical football player to be in, and you're like, that's what they're into. But I mean, who knows, right?
Yeah. All right. Well, Shout out to all those guys that's getting drafted in the first round tomorrow. It's gonna be dope. I think that it's a big moment, man. If I have to give any advice to any of these guys that's gonna be at the draft, that's gonna get drafted, live in the moment. It's you only get drafted once, you know. So and it ain't that many people that get drafted every year. Whatever the number is, I forget what the number is, but regardless, enjoy your moment. Is your moment. Don't let nobody steal your joy. And whether you're the first pick or you're Mr. Irrelevant, if you're getting drafted, somebody that believes in you, that's ultimately going to change your life. So enjoy it, man. And I'll see my nephew there in a few years. So, but nah. Yeah, man. This off. You got anything else?
No, just good luck. Good luck in the draft tonight. Hopefully your board goes the way it does, and all the future Bucks out there. Salute to you.
Hey, I thought she was talking about real life.
Nah.
The man. I was like, wait, what?
Oh yeah, now we gotta get ready. We gotta get ready
man.
for the
So,
draft.
all right, man. I think we just about done here. I feel like I'm forgetting something, man, and it's cool. Whether I forget about it or not, I'll remember it eventually. But this off the record. I'm Anthony Adebayo.
The boy Scotty B.
We out of here.
We off the record. Anthony Adebayo. We off the record.
With you there, but if you're a coach, do you take that chance?
Yes. You can reach us at the Off the Record Show at gmail.com. Anthony Adebayo, and the most accurate sports coverage. Scotty B's Fantasy 5.
We're different from any other sports.
His sophomore year. Comes back and says, you know what?
And your boy, Scotty B.